So in this video I'm going to be going over the results from the screening from the handout that we gave and all the questions that were on that. So the first thing we had to do was discover our audience and find out. We wanted to find out more, but whoever put the question together, we couldn't put enough questions on. I would have chosen to look at types of films they watch, the genre they like, how much if they're familiar with short films. But we only got two questions. We only managed to fit in two questions. We've categorized this so we can work out exactly what we're working with. So there's the ages. So you can see the different lists there and how many, like, what our audience was like. So as you can see, most of them were 18 to 25, and then under 18, and then obviously it falls out a bit. We've got a high end of 46 to 55. So now looking at gender, it was quite an even split. Obviously there's like 10 males and 13 females, so there's three people in the difference, but again, quite an even split, which is good because it gives it a perspective from both genders. So we asked four main questions that relate to the film, along with some other options to put whatever you feel. So the first question we asked was, were there any confusing cuts? We know when we edited this there were certain scenes missing and stuff, so we had to kind of work with what we had until we had time to reshoot after the screening. So we did expect there'd be a few confusing cuts, so obviously it's more of a 50-50 split there. So again, there's confusing cuts, so we need to work on that, and then hopefully in the additional information we can figure out what the confusing cuts were, and then we can work through editing and seeing how we can combat that. The next question was, does the music fit? Again, there's 3 or 4 segments of music within this, and we know for a fact that one of them didn't fit. As we were going into it, when we exported it through GarageBand, there was a slight problem. Once we watched it through the screening, from literally just watching it back, we realised that it didn't fit at all. So there is a few people there who kind of agreed with us on that. The other question was, did they understand the narrative? We thought this was going to be quite a high people agreeing, because we thought the narrative was easy enough to understand, but yeah, a few people were still concerned on that and didn't understand it, so hopefully we'll figure that out in the additional notes. The last question we asked was the lighting in colour significant? This was another question we really wanted to find out because, as I talked about when I was editing it, the issue that I came across was the colour correction. It was very hard because it was filmed at different times of day under different lighting. It was very hard to sort out the colour correction, but yeah, again, it's more of an even split, so it still shows that it's not significant, so we definitely need to work on that. So here is the list of improvements. So on every questionnaire we had like what could be improved basically, and they just quickly wrote something what they think was the main thing that needs to be improved. So we'll go from the top to the bottom here. So if we look at the first one, which is the end reveal seemed rushed, and okay, yep, that's something we definitely need to look into, because from my perspective as well, I think it does seem rushed. So again, we need to look at other options for endings, and if I can remove that or if I can edit that and change it. The next one is a lot of shots seem shaky and out of focus. Okay, so that's a little bit of a concern. So obviously we need to reshoot certain scenes if that's the case, if there's no way of stabilizing it on Final Cut. So if we can't get away from that, I know there is a thing to focus it, but I know it's not. I've heard it's not the best thing to use, so reshooting might have to happen. So there's that one. Better use of fade in, and probably we've covered that. Needs reshoots. Work on sound at the beginning. So yeah, obviously we covered most of that. Variation fade in, yeah, we can look at that. And then work at sound at the beginning. The beginning piece, I think we looked at quite a bit on sound on that, but I will go over it again and just check. But I think more the ending need better sound than the beginning, but I will check just to make sure. Cuts were jumpy and too loud and quiet, so yeah, again, sound is an issue. We need to balance that out and make sure it's all hitting the green instead of some of it being the red and some of it not even hitting the green. Cinematography, so the cut's not frequent enough. So I think one of the main things is cutting out the journey. That's the thing that I've said from the beginning, but we thought we'd test it and see how it goes so far. But yeah, I think the main thing is cutting out all the journey, so then there's less long boring shots. Sound, plot and script is the next one. It's very broad, but again, we need to work on sound, and I know certain bits in this plot / script aren't the best. A lot of the script was improvised, which I didn't like at all, because I wrote the script and then when we got onto set half of the act is improvised and it didn't follow the script at all, which is very annoying, but there'll be ways to reshoot and work around that and maybe stick stricter to the script. Some scenes didn't make any sense, e.g. the print out and the reshoot. Okay, right, so what I think is meant by that is after she's been on Google and then she's already got printed out information in her drawer. So again, we might have to switch a few scenes there. I'm not sure. Or we might have to reshoot it with her printing a few things out and then obviously time lapse that. The next one is saying again she's shocked at the missing girl and already has the cutout, so that, yeah, we just covered that just then. We will have to, I think I'll go through this list and sort it out because I'm not sure who put it together, so I'll make sure there's no duplicates of things in here. Ambient sound and sound effects at the start, okay, yep, we've covered that. Sound. Storyline was unrealistic. Okay, so that's again looking to the story, so maybe we'll look at the realism of the story and kind of see what we can work with that. Audio and color correction, also need to focus on the camera, so we talked about focus, color correction, and then we talked about audio. Color correction is needed, I know that for a fact. I need to take more lessons on color correction and find out how to use it more because it's new to me. I've never really worked with color correction. I know people can devote years and years to learning color correction, so I think I've got to look at a basic guide and hopefully try and get something that works. I think there may be a lecturer in the college which is devoted to colour correction, so I can maybe ask him for some pointers. So the next one, storyline, we've covered that. Inconsistent sound, covered that. Contrapuntal sound. I didn't really detect any contrapuntal sound. I'm not sure. I'll have to have a look. Again, I think that we could add a bit of contrapuntal sound, but again, I'm not sure if they mean there is contrapuntal sound or there's not. I didn't detect that there is any contrapuntal sound in it. But maybe we can exaggerate certain things to make it contrapuntal. Colour correction, acting, again, the actors have never done the acting before, but you can't really help it. And again, we're not going to be able to source other actors and stuff, so we're going to have to hopefully edit around some bad acting. But I don't think it was too bad of a job anyway from the acting perspective. Sound quality and acting, we've just covered that. Some parts feel a little disjointed, so okay, that's understandable. There is certain things which I think I need to look at there. Sound, ambient, sound effects, internal monologue. Okay, we covered most of that. Sound effects, maybe add a few more sound effects for certain things, or focus on sound effects. Maybe we could make the sound effects contrapuntal. Actually, that would make a little bit like we could maybe that's what they mean by it's contrapuntal. Maybe the sound effects didn't really fit and stuff like that. So internal monologue, okay, maybe that's an option. I'll think about that. Thinking back to the contrapuntal, it's probably the music more than anything. Contrapuntal music, it kind of didn't go with the genre, so again, that's something else we can do. But yeah, I think talking about sound effects, we could add some more pleonastic sound, stuff like that, to add the tension and build it up a little bit more. Sound cuts between scenes, so again, that's just tightening up the edit on the sound and make sure it flows throughout each scene. We could use some wild track to patch up a little bit of that. Sound needs to be softer, make more dramatic music stand out. So again, music, I will make sure that's a priority for sound and music, because that seems to be the main problems here. Camera shots too shaky, yep, I've already covered that. Sound and sound effects, some parts of the narrative, okay, so we've covered most of that. And then colour and continuity, we've covered basically everything from them improvements. We have got a second list, which is a little bit of feedback from peers in the class, which is here. So this is a lesson I actually missed, but we had some feedback and I managed to get these notes off of a peer, and this is the feedback that our peers gave us on our film. So it lacked continuity, but apparently it's not confusing, so again I'm going to watch it and get some more feedback on how the script reads compared to the film, because I know the script is very different to what the film is. Some cuts were too quick, especially the end scene. Okay, we've covered that basically in the previous bit, but at least I'm getting it from some film students now and media students, so I know it's definitely a problem. Ending was strange, twist wasn't needed. Yeah, that's an idea that I'm thinking of. I'm thinking that the twist, we could maybe just remove that. She walks into the house and it fades to black. That's a similar idea. Less bass, so I'm guessing that's on the sound. Don't know what there's double exclamation mark, but I'm guessing that is on the sound. So we need less bass, which is something that Jack, our music guy, picked up on. Too loud, so I think that refers probably to the bass and the levels of the sound. So, like I said earlier, I need to check the levels. Not clean, not too sure what it means by that because that's very broad, but I'm guessing they mean either the sound doesn't sound very crisp and clean, or the shots and like no, not the shots, sorry, the transitions aren't very clean. So we'll have to look at them too. So it says strange ending doesn't always make sense. Some scripts didn't make sense. So again, I think that was the problem with improvising. Improvising is good if you can improvise quick and well, but we didn't follow the script at all. Completely changed the ending, and I think that's had a massive impact on the final product of our film. Wasn't sure if it was being taped up. Wasn't sure what was being taped up. Okay, so it was two poles, but apparently people think it was a gun. So that's something to look at. And then the missing poster in the drawer, we've already discovered that and talked about that. Like the montage between the gun and the board. Obviously it's not a gun, but that shows that people are thinking it's a gun, which again doesn't matter. It's still adding that same tension, and if they liked it, then that's a good thing. Storyline could be improved. Article and cutouts. No clothes would change over 2 days. Yeah, that's one big issue that I thought, because the actor didn't have a change of clothes, so we thought we'd keep it that she fell asleep while in the clothes, got up in a rush. That was the only reason for the rush. She got up in a rush, so she didn't have time to change. But again, I'm not sure if that fits or not. Storyline could be improved with articles and cutouts. No change of clothes. Yeah, cover that. Sorry. So yeah, that's I think the main points is I've got a massive list of things I now need to do and break down on, and I've still got my lecturers' feedbacks to come back. So once I've got that, I can then start properly working out what needs changing, and hopefully I can improve this drastically before the deadline. So thank you for watching, and I will see you soon. Bye.